United Artists Channel 63 presents the United Artists Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
Tonight from Ferndale High School, it's the Berkley Bears taking on the Ferndale Eagles. Hello again, everyone. Dave Zorn along with Bob Griglak here at Ferndale High School, where tonight the Ferndale Eagles host the Berkley Bears, and Ferndale has not won a game, but Pat Fox of the Bears is afraid of them nonetheless.
Well, they haven't won here in the last 2 years. On top of that, they haven't scored in the last 2 years, so he's got a reason to be a little bit afraid. Also, they've got two of their three running backs hurt, their fullbacks, so it'll be a big test for them today.
On top of that, it's homecoming night for the Ferndale Eagles.
Well, that could go either way. You know, the emotion can run as a tide. You know, you can either be up or down for this type of game, so we'll see what happens in the first quarter.
Okay, and we'll see the kickoff right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you're in business, you know this sound is music to your ears. And maybe you'd like to hear that sweet sound of success more often. Whatever your business, one of the most efficient ways to increase it is to advertise on cable TV. Cable TV targets your sales message to buyers in your shopping area. Affordably, effectively. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Hanson Field here in the city of Ferndale. Dave Zorn along with Bob Griglak here for the kickoff of this contest in the Southeastern Michigan Association, the SMA. Both teams coming in this season with pretty good records for Berkley, I should say. Ferndale had some hopes up, but those were pretty much gone after 5 games in the league, 0-5. Berkley 3-3 in the league. Overall, 4-3 for Berkley, and overall for Ferndale, 0-7. So a disappointing season for the Ferndale Eagles, but they have lost some very close games, Bob.
They've lost 2 games I mentioned in the open by a touchdown, as well as losing 1 game in overtime that we did here, triple overtime. And they've had a couple close games that got blown out last week against Troy, 48-0. But that was indicative of Troy, and it was their homecoming. So today is the homecoming for the Ferndale Eagles, and let's hope that their emotion's going to be running high and they can pull a victory out here today.
And Berkley on the other side, they lost their last contest 20-0 to Southfield, a team that we saw against Kimball. And that was 6-0 going into the fourth quarter, so they played very well.
They had a hard time moving the ball against Southfield, and unless they can get their running backs on track today, they're going to have a similar hard time against Ferndale, which supports some pretty large players, and Berkley doesn't match up real well on the line.
And there we see number 4, Carlos Griffin, the quarterback for the Ferndale Eagles, that we saw last time here. What a difference a week makes.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, it's 71 degrees and balmy. Last week it was 31 degrees and just frigid.
And I would say a wind chill probably right around 0.
In the teens at least.
We are underway at Hanson Field in Ferndale. Ball taken at about the 30-yard line, and up around the 35 is where they'll start.
Bob Decker, one of the wide receivers, number 84, took the ball, made a nice catch, and then battled his way up to the line for a decent gain. Ferndale's got to move the ball quick and move it early in order to get on top of this game and put Berkley behind the 8 ball, because they have a hard time coming back from behind, as noticed last week against Southfield.
Ball just over the 30-yard line at the 31, and that is where the Ferndale Eagles will start. I formation and a pro set with the receivers for Carlos Griffin, the quarterback. Griffin on a handoff immediately, and a good run by number 30, and that is Anthony Yono.
Tell you what, it looked like he was going to gain a lot more than he got. There's some nice arm tackling in there, believe it or not. He held on to him. You could take a look right here. A hole opens up, a real good hole right at the onset. As he breaks through the hole, you can see right here, watch the arm tackle right here, and he held on to him right there. That usually is a no-no, but that time the strength of that defender tackled him. We've got a face mask on the play. They're going to tack that on. It's going to be a 15-yarder. That's a big one.
And that was Michael Thomas' correction on the carry. There are 2 sets of numbers on the Ferndale roster. And they have a number on the side, which was the number of players they have on the team, and 39 players on the roster. And Yono was the 30th. Quick handoff right away up the middle to Sabraka. David Sabraka on the carry. We saw him last time, who carried well. And they have a strong backfield, some quickness in that backfield. Leading the way is Carlos Griffin, and then the backs. That is what Pat Fox was afraid
of. Right, Sabraka is going to be a key element in this game. If they can initialize him and get 3 or 4 yards on first down with him, it's going to open up the game for Carlos Griffin, who is probably the most talented player on this Ferndale team. If he gets started and gets on the track, they can really move the ball.
And we saw immediately the speed of Michael Thomas, the tailback. Second down and about 9. And they go right to the air. Ball tipped. Intended out there for David Morgan.
That ball was tipped, Dave, but it still should have been caught. The ball ended up right in his hands, took his eye off it at the last second, and the ball went right through his hands.
I think Morgan takes a glance and sees the defenders coming.
All right, there's the tip, but look where the ball ends up. It's up a little high, but the ball was in his hands. That ball should have been caught. He was looking behind him. Look, he gets a nice pop in there. Oh, he got popped pretty good in there.
Third down and passing down, and Morgan is down.
Well, the man who made the hit is the man who got hurt.
Oh, wait, correction.
Ryan Freed.
Correction, it is Ryan Freed, number 24 for Berkley, that is down.
He's the one who applied the hit, I believe. Let's take a look at this again. Here's the tip ball. He goes up, and watch 24 come into your picture right here, Freed. It's going down for the tackle. It's a two-man tackle. Here he goes. Watch his head.
Yeah.
Boom, it jars his head, and watch where his feet land after he falls down. It's got to be a head or neck injury. That's what it's got to be.
Well, he's off the field on his own power, and that is good news. 3rd and 9 now for the Eagles, and they'll fake going to the air. Carlos Griffin was going to run with it, but right there holding his leg was a Berkley Bear, and trying to see who it was coming out of that pile.
Well, they had a nice drive going, Dave. They just stalled a little bit right there. And the key to was the first play. The fullback up the middle, that gained very little. They have to initialize that first play, and Sabraka's got to get 4 or 5 yards to open this game up because they don't have that big play offense.
Looked like Joe Nazione on the tackle. 4th and 9 now, and a punting down for the Eagles. They were coming, but he got it off. And a good punt, and it may turn out to be a great punt, and it is inside the 10-yard line. And that is where the Berkley Bears will start.
That was a great punt. That ball should have been fielded by one of the up men who should have called for a fair catch. It didn't, and the mistake they're going to pay for with terrible field position. Keep in mind, if you looked on that punt formation, Dave, Carlos Griffin was the up man. Let's take a look what happens later on in the game if that happens.
And don't forget, next week, our big finale for this high school football season. As always, the Troy Colts against the Troy Athens Red Hawks, and a great matchup Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. And a flag flies immediately on the carry, the run by number 30 for the Berkley Bears, and that is Batkowitz. Batkowitz is playing injured. We'll see Joe Nazione in there, but Batkowitz was doubtful coming in. He had 300 yards in the first 2 games for Berkley and was running real well before he got injured.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he needs to play a good game, and I think if he goes one way today, either the offense or defense, will make a difference.
No score. We're in the first quarter, and we would like to say hello to Bob Gershman out there, who is recovering in the hospital. Hopefully he'll be back with us. And the athletic director of the Berkley Bears. And a speedy recovery to him, as the Bears try to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and do.
They're in a position here they don't want to take a lot of chances. Obviously, they're down with their backs on the goal line. What they're going to try to do is they're going to try to run the ball up the middle. He waits for his blockers to get by him. The offensive line fires out, and he gets a nice hole, takes up, and gets about a 5-yard gain, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. So that'll make it 2nd down and 10.
Good run by Tony Williams. And the 2 backs playing injured back there. Here's Williams again, trying to cut it outside, but the speed of the Ferndale defense, and that is Sabraka in there for the tackle.
They just stretched that one out. He tried to pop the ball inside, saw nothing, went back outside, and no gain. Actually lost 4 yards on that play. Good defensive play by Sabraka.
And that'll bring up A 3rd down and 13, as you said, Bob, a loss on that, and probably a passing down. And Pat Fox really doesn't like to pass that much.
Well,
but
they're going,
all the coaches
they're going
this year
with the win here, so that might help them. I don't know, but passing down, if they do, they're going to do that 3-step drop, and that's it.
Yeah, but all the coaches this year have told us, well, we're not going to pass, and they come out throwing. 2 receivers up top. And there it is, a quick opener right up the middle, and it surprises the Ferndale Eagles. There's a fumble. Let's see if it goes their way, and it does.
Oh, what a mistake.
The Ferndale Eagles pick up the fumble. And what a break for the Eagles.
A great call by head coach Pat Fox. Very conservative, trying to get it away from the goal line. Let's take a look here to see if we can see where he fumbles the ball. Was it by a hit, or did he just drop it? It's right in the line there. It's 44 with the ball in his left hand. He takes a spin move. He still has the ball at this point. There it is right there. The ball's on his hip when Carlos made the tackle. Carlos Griffin with the tackle, and the ball was fumbled. Great field position for the Ferndale Eagles. Ball
right around the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Hand off to the second man through. And that looks like Thomas, number 30.
That's okay, Dave. That's what they want to do. They want to get 2-3 yards in that 1st down carry, get 2-3 on the 2nd down carry. They're in 3-4 down position right here. They're going to go for it if they can get close on 4th down. They've got a pretty decent-sized offensive line. So if they think they can't get that for the 2nd or 3rd or 4th down and 1, they're mistaken.
There we see Pat Fox. He is kneeling down there in the red shirt. Second down and 8 for the Eagles, and jumping off sides. Look like the Eagles, number 68 down there, Anthony Yono.
Oh yeah, he was a little antsy. He wanted to get out and fire out and hit somebody. It's going to cost him 5 though.
Homecoming night here at Hanson Field here in Ferndale, and the Eagle fired up.
Does he have a nickname, Dave? Buster Eagle or
Bald
something?
Eagle, I guess.
Bald Eagle, I don't know.
The Ferndale Eagle? We'll have to find out now.
Everybody else got one.
2nd down and 13. Griffin pitching quickly and has his man open.
Touchdown.
Easy touchdown for Sabraka. Dave Sabraka on the pitch, and everybody concerned with Carlos Griffin left Sabraka wide open on the pitch, and there was nobody covering outside.
That's a new wrinkle to their offense. They didn't do that the last time we saw them. They faked inside. Look at the chop there. This homecoming crowd is pumped up. Ferndale hasn't had to lead very many times this year, so they got to be fired up here.
So the Eagles score quickly here in the 1st quarter. 5:50 left in the 1st quarter, and here on their 2nd possession, and coming up and capitalizing on the turnover. The extra point attempt is up, and it's good.
Boy, this team is pumped up. These kids are running off the field. Their emotions running high, and well, they should. Homecoming crowd here.
Sabraka with an 18-yard run puts the Ferndale Eagles up 7-0 with the extra point.
That was a new wrinkle, Dave. We didn't see that. They faked inside, they pitched the ball outside, and he had a huge lane to run right down the sideline. Uncontested. Here's the replay. Now watch the defensive end. The defensive end pitches inside. He takes the fake. Number 9, the quarterback, goes with the quarterback. Number 9 takes the fake. He pitches out to Sabraka, who's got the wide open lane to run through the end zone.
Well, that's how good the fake was. Faked our camera crew out. Everybody on the field was going for him. And I'll tell you, Sabraka had an easy walk into the end zone. Good kick. At about the 15-yard line. Good high kick, but a good return. Williams breaks it out to the 50, to the 30, and he is gone.
Man.
Tony Williams, no flags, and just like that, the Berkley Bears come back.
What a short-lived, unbelievable. The next kickoff. But I'll tell you what, I don't think it's going to affect the emotion. They're going to come right back, I got a feeling. What a run. Cut the ball back up the middle and took it all the way. Just showed some excellent speed.
Let's take a look.
Got a nice kick, some good hang time. That ball, they should have gotten down there on it. Now watch him hit his wedge. He's going to wait for his wedge. He's going to cut right as soon as he gets to the wedge. Right here he's going to cut, takes the ball straight up the middle, cuts to the right, goes down the sideline, and just turns on the speed. Might have been a clip right there by 8. Wasn't called. Runs right by number 12, who is the last man had a chance. That's Dwayne Jones, but he goes all the way for a touchdown.
Tony Williams ties it up, hopefully, here for Berkley. They'll try to go for the extra point. Right now, there's a player down on the field. There is Carlos Griffin, and he is upset because he doesn't think he should be out there getting the ball offensively that soon. But he's going to have to go on defense one more time. On the other side of the field, at about the 45-yard line, the injured player is down. We cannot tell who that is. And the ball taken, that looked like he took it at the 15-yard line.
We need an ambulance here. He must be hurt.
Unofficially an 83-yard return. I'll call it 85. And don't forget to tune in to Roadshow Video. Coming up this month on Roadshow Video, as you can see, the very exciting sport of fishing. So stay tuned for the Roadshow Video immediately following tonight's game.
I had to chuckle. I'm sorry.
You're a fisherman. You're a
yes,
fisherman.
I am.
And
Yes,
it's
I
very
am.
exciting.
It's exciting when you catch your fish. You're right.
Or when you bring your little TV with you so you can watch a ball game.
Watch the Wolverines.
Probably. In the meantime, down on the field, the injured player, not a good sign. Now, we have been here last time we were here. There was another injured player. We hope we're not bad luck, and we hope that the player will be all right. And we're going to take a break right now with the score 7-6 and Berkeley's extra point pending. We'll be right back after this.
When we decided to adopt Daniel and Raymond, some of our friends and family were skeptical. They said it might be difficult to develop a bond. They said that younger children adapt easier, but these two boys gave us an immediate family. It's a commitment that we've been glad to make. The rewards are beyond compare. Consider making a special child or children part of your family. Adoption works for everyone. Call 1-800-2-ADOPT.
We're back here at Hanson Field, and Tom Smith is the injured player down at about the 45-yard line. And it looks like he is he's on his knees. You see the ambulance there, so it looks like there was some movement in his legs. And if we can show the replay, we might be able to see what happened. The score 7-6, and all this happened on this kickoff return here. You see Tom will come around trying to make the tackle, and you'll see the other 33, Williams, hit his knee right at the back of the neck, right there on Smith. And right there is where he is. He's not moved there since.
He's got his legs up.
He's
so
got
that's
his legs
good, yeah.
up, and that is good. And there's some movement, but they want to be real careful in this. And we saw it last time we were here, and you can never be too careful in something like this.
There's some concerned young ladies there. Hopefully it's not one of his her boyfriend, but
we hope he'll be all right. And they're going to have to bring the ambulance in here.
when you have a neck injury, Dave, you don't want to move them too quickly because it could actually cause more damage if you sever a vertebrae or whatnot. I'm not a doctor, but I know that that's the one injury that they don't want to move.
Let's take a look again now. You'll see it towards the right of your screen as Williams is returning it. He comes around, and right there across the back of the neck is where we think the injury occurred.
Part of the problem was he slipped on the field and lost his balance. So he had no sense of equilibrium while he was on the ground there. He was kind of laying out.
Now that is his mother with her back to us in the red jacket, and I'm sure she is concerned, just as the team is, and the rest of us, including us up here in the booth. And the team, that is his helmet they are holding up there. And hoping and praying that everything's going to be all right for Tom Smith.
This is homecoming, so we're hoping that
you can see him moving his legs, so that's a great sign right there.
He's in a lot of pain, though. You can see him kicking his legs back up and down. And Carlos isn't happy, of course, with the touchdown being run back, but also because of his fallen comrade there. And that really takes a lot of momentum and steam out of this team as well as this game, because when you have a fallen player, obviously it's kind of tough to come back from, whether it be on your team or the other team.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to see that.
Yep. And there the stretcher coming out, and again, you don't want to take any chances on something like this. 5:37 left in the first quarter with the timeout. Ferndale 7, Berkley 6. Berkley has a chance to tie it up on their extra point, and we'll be back right after these messages.
If you're in business, you know this sound is music to your ears. And maybe you'd like to hear that sweet sound of success more often. Whatever your business, one of the most efficient ways to increase it is to advertise on cable TV. Cable TV targets your sales message to buyers in your shopping area. Affordably, effectively. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Tom Smith down on the field has been put on the stretcher, and there was movement in the legs, which was a good sign. It looks like, and we hope everything will turn out okay. They just didn't want to move the neck, so they immobilized the neck, took the shoulder pads off, and hopefully Tom will be doing fine. And just hopefully want to see some movement in his hands. That's what I'd like to see.
Hard to tell at this point. They've got him folded on top, and that's just typical. His neck is immobilized. He's taped down to his shoulders. That's a typical move. They've got airbags around it. So there's his hands moving, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And he did shake his head, so looks like he's got some movement. But again, they're just not going to take any chances.
Yep. Just head to the hospital, get some x-rays. Hopefully everything will be okay for Tom Smith as he heads off. And a round of applause, hoping the best for Tom on this homecoming night. And a little subdued now after the injury. 5:37 left in the game. It is 7-6, and the players
left in the first quarter, Dave.
Stretching in the game. I'm sorry,
Yes.
it's been so long.
Yes,
Thanks,
in the first
Bob.
quarter.
That is why you're here. In the first quarter.
Insightful and color commentary.
You know what? I'm
There's
getting
it.
a flashback. I'm thinking it's the triple overtime.
There you
again.
go. They see the red lights, and you're getting, reminds you of the old high school days.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? The flashing red lights, Jimi Hendrix, all those things. So I get it.
So some smiles back on the faces of the Ferndale Eagle students, band, fans, and the players stretching out, getting some stretches in before they get play underway. And again, last week was so cold. This week, just a beautiful night and almost a summer-like evening, late summer-like evening here. Indian summer, you could call it, couldn't you?
Yeah, I guess you can. You just did, so it is Indian summer, officially.
That's right, officially.
Officially. But yeah, the weather will help also keep these young bodies limber during about this 20-minute timeout here. If it was cold like last week, it would be a real disaster coming back, and you'd see potentially more injuries, cold muscles, cramps, that type of thing. But this warm weather will help in getting them limbered up more quickly here, and help get this game underway, and hopefully that we won't have any more Hanson Field injuries here.
Don't forget to tune in to Front Page Football. Join us as news writer Mike O'Hara and Free Press writer Kurt Sylvester. Each week, we'll talk to a member of the Detroit Lions and discuss how the team's doing. Not too well lately. That's Saturday at 6:30 p.m. right here on United Artists 63.
Did you say disgust Lions? Oh, I'm sorry. You said disgust Lions.
Yeah, I'm sure the Lions are disgusted.
Okay.
They've pretty much played like the Ferndale Eagles, pretty close games. They've lost some close games and just haven't had a chance to put some wins on the board.
Yeah, it's a darn shame. They've had some big problems, and injuries haven't helped them. So let's take a minute here and take a quick break. We'll be right back after the players get warmed up.
For years, Certain members of the cosmetic industry have been testing things like shaving creams and shampoos on animals. In the process, millions of rabbits and other animals have been blinded, maimed, and killed. Help stop animal testing.
And we're back at Hanson Field here at Ferndale High School as the Berkley Bears try to attempt the extra point after the kickoff return and trying to tie it up. Kicking is number 24 for the Berkley Bears, and that is Freed, Ryan Freed, the place kicker.
Talking about icing a kicker, this could be the ultimate in doing that.
Yeah. Didn't even have to call a timeout. It is up, and it's good. And it's all tied up, 7 apiece. So let's see if both teams, how they react to this, and if they come out flat or if they come out fired up. We saw quite a bit of action in less than a minute.
Well, keep in mind,
touchdowns.
The first touchdown was precipitated by the fumble. And first, Sabraka took it 18 yards around in on the pitch for a touchdown. The very next play, Tony Williams took the ball 83 yards on the kickoff and went all the way. So we've had the last 2 plays have resulted in scores. Now it's Ferndale's turn to see if they can overcome that big injury.
And the fans definitely into it on the Ferndale sideline. It is homecoming night here. There to receive, number 42 for the Eagles, Derek Campbell. He is one of the up men. Back deep, though, is number 8, David Morgan. And kicking is Freed. Freed kicks it short. Taking it is Packer. Terrence Packer. Packer cuts upfield, and he is down at about the 37-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. And that is where the Eagles will start.
Just for a second there, just for a split second, you thought he might have broken it. If he did, you could take a look right here. He's got a nice hole as he cuts the ball back up the middle. And he's got a nice hole. You think for right there 1 second, if that one tackle wasn't made, he had another lane going outside, and he could have broken it all the way.
Ball at about the 36-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Eagles. I formation, pro set with the receivers. Griffin, and already flags fly on the snap.
Yeah, that's pretty typical after a long layoff like that they had about a 20-minute stretch that legal procedure would call. These people would be a little jumpy. That's very typical after that happens. So they just need to keep their head in the game here and go with the game plan.
Penalty going against the Bears. Don't forget to tune in to Transition right here on United Artist 63. Transition is a program designed to give perspective pertaining to African-American issues. As host Jeffrey Miller conducts interviews with such people as Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers,
offside on the Bears.
Griffin calls out the signals. 1st and 5, and a good situation to be in. You can pretty much run anything and come out looking good, and they do.
First hit in there was by Bob Tighe. Didn't wrap him up.
Looks like he got close to a 1st down. Here's the scoring drive. Really no drive to speak of, and it was just a return of took about 13 seconds off the clock and a total of 83 yards. 1st down on the carry. As we see John Bezier, head coach of the Eagles, a frustrating season for him. 0-7 overall, 0-5.
A clean-shaven John Bezier, we'll say.
Don't stand there and think. Start talking. It'll help your minds.
1st and 10. Hand off to the first man through. Sabraka, not much there.
We got a flag in the backfield. Looks like a procedure call against the Ferndale Eagles. It'll push them back 5 yards. Started again. Left 1st down and 15 now.
Heads up. Let's go.
So flags again. This one's going against the Ferndale Eagles.
It's going to take a while for both these teams to get their momentum back and to get back in the swing of this game. I hate to say it, but that injury definitely takes its toll not only on the player, but also on the rest of the players.
Yeah, we've seen injuries now, or not only injury, excuse me, but penalties go both ways just after the injury as we start play now. First and 15. Griffin slips but comes back up and slips again. Gets over the original line of scrimmage and it's about 2 yards past that.
That painted area in the middle of the field is new. They must have just done that for homecoming. It'll probably be a little more slippery in that area than will be the rest of the field. Keep in mind that paint is on the top. You'll see him slip twice.
He slips here, yeah.
Well, this time here, he slips cutting in. Gets good. Now watch him slip again on the paint. Right there. See that? Slip twice right there.
He wanted to make a cut there, too. 2nd down and 8 now. 3:24 and counting down here in the first quarter. Griffin cuts up again into traffic and almost spun out of that. What a good runner.
Looks like they're pointing to the ball. They called the ball down before the fumble did occur. But Griffin showing some good running ability, cutting the ball back up. Keep in mind, too, that they're looking for that pitch man after Sabraka took the ball down for a touchdown. So they're going to keep an eye on that and give Griffin some room to cut the ball back up. He needs to fake the ball a little bit better in there, but he still gets the ball, turns it up inside the guard for about a 6-yard gain. We'll make it 3rd down, about 4.
Actually, they had 2 yards, gained about 4, or about 3 or 4. 3rd and 4. They go to the tailback, and spinning forward is Michael Thomas. I don't know if he picked it up. I don't think he did.
I'm looking at the ball spot, and it does not look like they gave him a favorable spot. I'm looking at the ball right here, so he's going to be about 2 or 3 inches short.
Yeah. 4th and inches, and the Eagles are going for it with 2:14 left in the first quarter.
You almost have to go for it here. You need to get some momentum back. Your player is down. If they can drive the ball down the field, put some points on the board, it'll really help them for this game.
Griffin calls the signals. Power I right. And they go right. And they go right up the middle, and they pick up the first down.
Good call. Strong power football.
Sabraka on the carry, number 39, and he picks it up. Good man to go to.
Well, he's not a big player. You know, Sabraka goes about 150 pounds, but let's take a look here. He takes the ball in. Bounce off the initial tackle. Second effort got him that first down. He only got about a yard. That's all he needed.
Yeah, Sabraka's 200 pounds.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at a different Sabraka here.
Yeah, there are 2 of them.
Okay, there's 2 of them.
JC is number 20. Fake to the first man, and it's a good fake again. And Carlos Griffin close to another first down.
Well, they're starting to get some momentum back. They're starting to put a drive together, and it's very important for 2 reasons. Number 1, keeps the ball out of the hands of Berkley, and also it keeps them rolling down the field. Nice play here. Griffin again fakes that pitch out. They're going to have to respect that after the touchdown, and takes it for a nice gain, and it's about an 8-yard or 9-yard gain. Leave them 2nd down, about 1.
They mark it short of the first down. Short yardage now. 1 receiver split down to the bottom of the screen. I formation in the backfield for Griffin. Griffin hands off to Sabraka, who picks up the first down.
That offensive line is starting to fire out. They're starting to take charge of this game. If they continue to do that, Berkeley's in trouble. They're outmanned in regards to weight. So if the Ferndale Eagles can control that line of scrimmage, they're going to run right down that field. They've got to make sure that they don't. Well, looks like they're going to knock it short of the first down, Dave.
No, they did not. They might get a measurement here. Let's see.
No, I don't think they're going to measure.
No. They're looking at it, and they say, no, it's not enough.
That was a pretty unfavorable spot again.
Yeah, looked like he picked it up easily, but again, short of the first down. Split backs now. 2 receivers down to the bottom. Probably as decoys, and they're probably going to go to the run again. Don't be surprised to see Griffin take it himself. And he does. Griffin stuck, but he gets the first down.
What a cute little play by Carlos Griffin. He knew that he almost might not be close enough not to get that first down. Stretched the ball out with his left hand. Let's take a look here. There goes Griffin. He fakes the ball inside. Good fake right there. He holds on the ball long enough to hold the linebackers up. Now he's still got the ball. Watch his left hand now. Right there at the last second, he stretches it out, knowing that the spot will give him a first down. And that'll end the first quarter.
So the first quarter comes to an end with a tie, 7-7 here at Hanson Field at Ferndale High School on homecoming night. Carlos Griffin has his team on the move and inching closer and closer to the end zone. They've got the ball at about the 31-yard line.
This has been a real good drive for them. Remember, the first drive only was consummated after the fumble. They took the ball 18 yards on a Sabraka run. So this will put together a good drive for them, taking ample time off the clock, as well as getting their confidence back after that injury.
Ball just shy of the 31-yard line, and that is where the Ferndale Eagles will start the second quarter. And Carlos Griffin has him on the move. I formation. 2 receivers down to the bottom of the screen. That is Morgan and number 81, Jason Morgan. So both Morgans down there. The handoff to the tailback, Thomas. And a loud whistle down there, Bob.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here. That's the 9th play of the drive. All of them have been running plays, and they started on 36-yard line. So real impressive drive starting to form here. 2nd down and 7.
2nd down, about 7. Carlos Griffin, the Eagles keeping it very effective, staying on the ground. But you know, when we say that, they go to the air. It's happened before. Again, Morgan up top with another receiver up top. Double set up there. Griffin takes it himself. Flags fly, and it looks like it could be a holding call.
It's thrown by the back judge that time. It could be anything. Could be an illegal block. Could be a hold. But Ferndale is coming back. So those are the type of things that will stall a drive when you make those silly mistakes.
They had a penalty earlier that knocked him back 10 yards, and this one could knock him back again. And it is holding on the Eagles. So that's another 10-yard penalty, Bob.
Let's see if we can see it here. This is thrown by the back judge, so it's not on the initial line. Might be one of the receivers coming back. We can't see it, but does set up 2nd down and a long way to go.
About 10. Hold on here. What am I talking about?
No, they only had 2 or 3, and then went back 10. 2nd and 17 should be.
Yep. That's what it is. Griffin throwing the other way. Sabraka on the screen. They've got it laid out real well. And he's tripped up. He had a lane down the sideline and could have been gone if he wasn't tripped up right there.
Right at the last second, he had some blockers. They just bulldozed the cornerback down here. 2 blockers just pulverized him. This play was set up excellently. Carlos goes back, fakes the ball up the middle to freeze the linebackers, throws the ball here in the flat to Sabraka. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but right in front of him, 2 of the offensive linemen, right in the top left-hand corner, you can see them both down. They just pulverized somebody. That play could have went all the way, but just tripped him up at the last second. Sets up 3rd and 3.
3rd and about 3 now for the Eagles. The fake. Griffin is hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard. I don't know.
Well, they're in that extra down territory here. They will go for it. It would be a long field goal, and that wouldn't really help them. But right now, they're going to make a big decision. 4th down and 2.5, we'll call it. Could call anything. Of course, what's worked for them so far has been Carlos Griffin taking the ball or pitching it back to Sabraka. So it'll probably be the option of one of those 2 things. Get a full house in the backfield, so.
Yep, power eye left. And they go left. The handoff to the tailback. Thomas has the 1st down and more. Inside the 15-yard line.
That is a great run by Thomas. He showed speed and he showed endurance. He popped that secondary man with his helmet and tried to run right by him. Take a look here. Here's his speed. Here's the initial contact. He takes the ball outside, pushes a man away. Now watch at the last second. He's going to want to take on this helmet. Watch. Right here. Boom. This butt heads. He's going to try to run over him. Doesn't do it. A good tackle out there, but it does give him a 1st down and keeps this drive going.
Ball just inside the 15-yard line at the 14. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Split backs and 2 receivers split. That's Dwayne Jones and David Morgan up top. Griffin back to pass. Will scramble and run. Tucks it away and goes out of bounds at around the 10.
Here's a smart call by Griffin to hold on to that ball because he had nobody open. Nobody at all. And here's the key play. He's going to roll back. He's going to come back. He's got a little bit of pressure. He rolls the wrong way. Look at this. He's rolling the wrong way. It's a tough way to throw the ball. I think he wanted to run it all the way. The fake there was just in order to get the secondary man off of him. Didn't work, but did have it for about a 4-yard gain. So that'll set up 2nd and 6. Good position.
Ball at the 11-yard line. I formation. Jason Morgan up top. David Morgan to the bottom of the screen. Sabraka takes it. Sabraka inside the 5-yard line.
14th play of this drive, Dave. Taking up almost 8 minutes on their clock. That's what they needed to do after that injury, was take charge of the game. Here's a real power run by Sabraka. He runs off tackle. Nothing fancy about here. He pushes another player away, runs off the end. 5'11", 200, as we stated earlier. He's got quite a load to stop.
And under 5 minutes left in the second quarter. They are really eating up that clock.
Didn't quite get the first down, brings up 3rd and inches.
Power I right, and they have generally run in that direction. No, they'll go the other way with it, and Thomas gets in for the touchdown. Michael Thomas.
Great play call. They had you faked out, had me faked out. They've been running to the way of the power. They've been running toward the power to get the extra blocker in there. The offensive lineman blocked down. Take a look here. They're blocking down toward that way. Took the ball off left tackle. Defensive end number 77 comes around, doesn't get there in time to seal it. Takes the ball up over tackle for touchdown. Good call. 15-play drive.
With 8:31 left in the second quarter. Thomas puts it in, and now the extra point. It is up, it is down, it is blocked.
No, I don't think it was blocked. I think he just miskicked it. Kicked the top of the ball and went down on the ground.
Yeah, never took off.
There's our score, 13-7. 8:31 left here in the second quarter. So it's an exciting game. The last 3 drives have culminated in points.
Yep. Last 3 times the teams have had the ball in their possession, they have scored. Thomas on a 4-yard run, and it's 13-7 in favor of the Eagles. As you see Carlos Griffin down on the sideline, and Bezier, John Bezier, the head coach, talking to him. I'd like to say hi to Joe Mahan. 40 years announcing here.
You see him every time, and he keeps getting better.
One of our favorite press boxes around.
You just like the place because you like to eat an Italian sausage.
That's right, the Italian sausage is terrific.
There you go.
And this will go into the end zone. A good, strong kick by the Eagles kicker, Crosley, Joe Crosley. The junior pounds it into the end zone. Got a good, favorable bounce.
He found the opening area in between the seam and pushed it right through. And they'll start at the 20, so they're a long way away, but they've got plenty of time left here in the second quarter.
And the Berkley Bears will start at their own 20.
Well, they haven't put together an offensive drive yet. The only touchdown that they did get was on the return of the kickoff. So they definitely need to put some offensive yard.
There's Joe. Joe Mahan, 40 years announcing. He's, believe us, he's right behind that the wood there. And the handoff to Williams. Williams bouncing, and he's going in the wrong direction. They got him for a 5-yard loss, and the homecoming crowd is fired up here.
I think the homecoming team is fired up. They were tackling each other out there.
Let's take a look. Tony Williams, nowhere to go. They just string him out.
Well, he keeps his feet moving. I give him credit for that. He wasn't tackled. There's 1, there's 2. Pushes him back. Let's see if he goes to 3. Another player touching. That's 4. Yep, he's the last guy. Got to watch them tackle each other right here. Oh, just jumps over.
There's Joe. Joe Mahan, 40 years announcing, and this drive took almost 40 years. 15 plays, 9 minutes and 6 seconds, and a total of 64 yards. outside and trying to get some yardage and not being able to turn the corner is Batkowitz. Andy Batkowitz trying to get some speed and turn the corner, but he couldn't do it.
Well, he's coming up limping. You can take a look right here. He was hurt earlier in the game. Just a quick pitch. He's trying to take advantage of his speed. You can tell the injury has gotten to him because he doesn't able to get outside. He is able to turn the corner on the lineman, but not on the cornerback, which is Carlos Griffin, who came up and made the tackle.
And you talk about speed. Carlos Griffin has got it. That's why he couldn't turn the corner. But the Eagles have done a great job defensively of just stringing it out. They just cannot turn the corner.
Shown a little more speed than the Berkley Bears.
3rd down and 10 now. And going to the air. And a beautiful pass, but it's just led him too far. Intended for Freed, and we have flags down.
They go procedure against the offense, and that'll be declined. And they'll have to punt the ball back over to the Ferndale Eagles.
Tom Perry really put something on this pass. And
so they threw the flag before the play started, so they'll have to take the penalty.
Illegal procedure on the Bears, declined. And watch Perry unload this. He really does a nice job in getting something on this.
We didn't see the procedure call there. There might have been 6 men on the line. That's the reason they threw the flag. He just threw a nice pass. That a good spiral, just overthrown a bit.
Good tight spiral.
He's going for the bound.
Yeah, just a little too far for Freed.
That would have been a good punt, too, if it was intercepted. So
could have worked both ways. 6:57 left in the second quarter. Bears to punt. They're coming and almost blocked it.
Good punt.
Morgan back to receive it. Calls for a fair catch. Anybody's ball.
No, it isn't. It was touched by.
No, it was. Okay.
But he's got to get out of the way. You're absolutely right.
He's got to get out of there. I thought it might have touched him.
He called for the fair catch, but when you do it, you know you're not going to catch the ball. Get out of the way. Run 50 yards. Run to the sideline.
Yeah, let's take a look. This is a tough snap to handle. Hits the ground, but a good job in getting rid of it.
Just gets it off, but he boomed it in no return.
Terry Bingham. Now watch Morgan. See, he's right there.
There's the tip right there. It's by one of the
now
Berkley
it's still
Bears.
bouncing around, and that is where I thought it might have.
If they wouldn't have touched it, the ball came back another 5 yards.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. Griffin to pass. Intended for Morgan, but it hit the ground. And it'll be 2nd and 10 now.
I mentioned earlier about the Berkley Bears not having a real offensive showing yet today because of the kickoff return. They've got 5 total yards offense. Here's replay. First pass attempted by Ferndale here. Carlos goes back to pass, rolling left. That's a tough throw, and it's incomplete. Throws it down in the dirt.
2nd and 10 now.
Excuse me, that was a second pass. They completed the screen earlier.
Yeah. And
first forward pass, we'll say, not sideways.
That's right. You got to think, though, that Pat Fox is thinking about that jinx.
That's true.
2 receivers up top. Griffin comes this way with it, and he'll take it himself. And he's met hard first by number 44, Nazione, Joe Nazione.
Well, the jinx has been broken in regards to scoring. They have scored their first point in 3 years with that kickoff return. Here's Griffin again. They're trying to force the cornerback to come up and take Carlos. If he does, he's going to pitch the ball back. He's got room to run here. Linebacker fills the gap there, runs down the line of scrimmage and makes a nice tackle. He paid for that yardage. 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 4. Griffin calls the signals. David Morgan and Jason Morgan up top. I formation in the backfield. The handoff to the tailback, Thomas. Thomas close to a first down, not enough, and we have flags in there.
That was a hold call right there. So Cole will be on Sabraka.
It looks like it'll be a 3rd and 15, but the Eagles are clapping.
What did they do? I thought maybe he had tackled. No, it's a face mask. Oh, 2 penalties offsetting. We got a hold. Yep, Sabraka was holding, and there's a face mask, the offsetting penalties. I did see the hold. That's why I was wondering what happened there. But they got away with it.
Let's see if we can point out the hold.
Here's Sabraka. Watch this. He'll tackle his man. He'll be on the ground. He'll hold him. You can't see it here. That's where the hold came in. The face mask right there.
You can see his head coming back. And it is.
Replay it down. 3rd and 5 still. 3rd
and 5.
Yep.
And again, 2 receivers up top. This time it's Dwayne Jones and David Morgan. fake the handoff, and the pitch goes out to Sabraka, and a good job by the Bears in covering that one. Out there on the tackle was number 9, Penley. Ray Penley, the defensive back, came up.
Excellent defense that time. What they're forcing them to do, they're forcing Carlos to pitch the ball before he wants. They're forcing him up the line of scrimmage. He knew he was going to get tackled, pitch to back. If he could break this tackle right here, he's got some room to run, but he doesn't. An excellent tackle in there. Short gain of about a yard. It'll be 4th down, and we'll call it no gain. 4th down and 4.
So now the Bears stringing out some of the running plays for Ferndale. A timeout called by one of the linemen, number 55. That is Drew Beaver calling the timeout.
Checking his equipment too.
And don't forget to tune in to Oakland Press to keep you on top of what's going on in Oakland County. Tune into the Oakland Press Perspective. The editor of the Oakland Press, Neil Monroe, hosts this program. You can catch it right here on United Artists 63 at 8:30 on Fridays.
That helmet's a little tattered. He's taken a few shots over the year. But those are trophy marks. If you remember when you played, Dave, when you got some paint or paint taken off your helmet, that was the sign of manhood.
Especially a team with another color.
Right.
I'd love to get those other colors on.
Yeah, he doesn't have any trophy marks on that head.
No, not that one. Okay, so it's 4th and 4, and a punting down. Although Carlos Griffin is one of the up men, so be careful here. No, they'll punt it away. Schaffner punts it away, fielded by Williams. Williams breaks one tackle. He's got a lot of room down the sideline. He needs one block, and he doesn't get it. Carlos Griffin brings him down at about midfield.
And you know, there's a clip back here on the 25 that was not called. And the ref stood there and looked at it and didn't call it. Unbelievable. Good run back. I don't know if we can see the clip right here. Here's the kick. It was almost blocked. It was a low kick. There it comes in at the last second.
Yeah.
On the return, let's see if we can see the clip right here. Right there. See him push him in the back? Number 20 was pushed in the back, and he could have made the tackle. That clip should have been called.
Now right here is where Williams should have let his man block Carlos Griffin, but instead he passes him up.
Overran it and didn't pull his block out.
1st and 10, great field position. The first time the Bears have had this kind of field position. They are in Eagle territory. The first man through is Batkowitz, and Batkowitz picks up a good chunk of yardage on a 1st down carry.
Well, that has now doubled their offensive total for the day. More than doubled it, we'll say.
Yeah. Gain of about 6, 2nd and 4 coming up. Let's take a look.
A good off-tackle run right here. His blocking held up very well. You know, it was just a power run, took the ball straight in, put his head down, and drove right through.
John Bazier, head coach of the Ferndale Eagles, in a disappointing season, 0-7 and 0-5, but 0-5 in the conference, but playing very well tonight. Here's an offside call on the Berkley Bears.
Oh boy, not a good call. And I tell you what, he was so tentative when he looked around and says, "Oh, you mean you're not going to hike the ball?"
So now that knocks back some yards off their total yards.
And they've been having a hard time running the ball on offense, so that's really going to hurt them. Take a look at the right guard here, left guard here. Look and get up. Oh, look, take a look at him. Are you going to hike the ball now?
Oh, that is, you are the loneliest guy in the world right there if that happens to you. Tom Perry, the quarterback, calling the signals. 2nd and about 10. Williams on the carry. Williams breaks it outside. Williams has got speed. Look out. Touchdown, Bears.
I saw it coming. I said, good blocking. That's the first thing I said. I saw the blocking in front of him. He read his blocks well and took it in for the touchdown. Now that was a good control
yards. 46, 47 yards on the run. And Williams has kept the Bears in this game, Bob.
I'll tell you, it was a great play, great call right there. They went off tackle. But watch the blocking set up in front of him. The blocking down. Now watch him read his blocks. He takes right 64, the pulling guard, follows him up through the block, pushes the man on the side there, and then it's all running. It's all speed from here on in. Pulling guard there from left to right, came by, followed his block, and had a great run. 46 yards.
46 yards for, I'm going to call him Touchdown Tony. How's that?
Okay.
Touchdown Tony Williams puts it in the end zone again for the Bears. And this could take the lead. It is up. It is good, and the Bears get the lead.
Well, again, every time people have touched the ball here, there's a flag down in the play. Something's happening. thought I saw him. So did throw a flag. So
Looks like it might be assessed on the kickoff.
maybe one of the players said something he shouldn't have. Questioned somebody's family tree. Maybe the coach's family
Army
tree.
boots?
Yeah, well.
Something like that. 3:43 left in the second quarter. It has been a long first half. 14-13 the score. And, well, Bob, you predicted a close game, and this is pretty close.
Well, I'm really surprised at the way that they've been scoring. We've had, of course, a kickoff return, but the last two drives have been very good by both teams. A couple big plays obviously made the difference, but Ferndale didn't have any big plays. They basically just ran the ball down the field. Little at a time. When you take 9 minutes off the clock, you're not going to have big plays. But that was a big play offense right there by Berkley. They did it in 3 plays, a minute and 10 seconds. So that tells you something right there.
Very quick drive, and that is always something good to see if you can get it in the end zone that quick, because when it comes down to the end of the game, if it's a close game, you're going to want to be able to put it in the end zone real quick, and that is a good thing to know about your team.
Well, particularly if you can pass the ball and get in the end zone quick. We haven't seen that from either team
Right,
yet.
if you're looking for a breakaway run like that, that's
you can't really plan that too often.
Chance, yeah.
Right.
So the penalty is assessed here on the kickoff.
It was a big one.
And what a
15,
break
yeah.
for the Bears. They will be kicking from the 45.
Now, what do you think about an onside kick here? There's nothing to lose. The ball goes 10 yards.
Hey,
They still got worse.
That is a great idea. I'd go for that. And let's see if they do that. No, they'll go into the end zone. They're kicking against the wind. Morgan takes it. Morgan trying to bust outside, but he's sandwiched at about the 20.
Well, I don't know. We used to say, I don't know, Al. But
They'll start at the 21, Bob. Let's take a look.
didn't kick it high enough for them to get under. That's why he had room to run up the middle there for about 15 yards after he caught the ball. But if you're going to kick it short like that, you got to kick it higher to let your men run underneath it.
Yeah. There's the drive. 2 plays, 57 seconds off the clock.
Oh, I made a mistake earlier. It was a minute and 10 seconds was both drives.
Oh, both drives together.
They had 13 seconds on the kickoff return.
Griffin handing off to his tailback, Thomas. And let's see where they got, maybe a yard or 2.
Well, there's 3 minutes and 6 seconds left on the clock here in the second quarter. If Ferndale's going to score, you see right there time ticking down, they're going to score. They can't score like they did the second drive. They can't take 9 minutes off the clock. They're going to have to mix it up. They're going to have to come up with a big play if they're going to score here. That or they'll be content running a few first downs and going into the locker room down 14-13. But we'll see what they come up with.
Well, we've seen Carlos throw. He can throw very well. I formation. Hand off to the tailback. Thomas bounces outside, trying to get some more yardage. Good hard hit, and finally goes out of bounds. And I think he's going to be close to a first down.
See where the spot is. It looks like he does have a first down. Yep, it is a first down. He did get out of bounds. And here shows some speed. Thomas has shown speed on 2 or 3 occasions here. Shows a nice move there, getting away from the cornerback, filling. Throws his head. He puts his head down strong, doesn't he?
Yep.
He doesn't mind giving out a lick. And bounced off of that and was able to get that extra yard for the first down.
1st and 10, ball on about the 33-yard line. 2:32 left here in the second quarter. A lot of wind down there,
It's
as you can
picking up.
tell.
Yeah.
Here's the reverse to Morgan. Morgan sprung loose for a first down and more. Down at about the 48-yard line.
Beautiful call right there. Took the ball back up. I don't know if you want to call it a reverse more or less, but a split end coming back on a handoff, like on a cross series. Counter series. And take a look right here, because here's the shot. He's coming back. And watch the blocking up front. This is where it makes the difference. 70, 60, 50, 81. Everybody's making good blocks in there, and that gets them all the yardage. Of course, the speed didn't hurt either.
Well, I think the Eagles want to put it in the end zone before halftime. They want to take that lead back.
They've got time.
Griffin calls the signals. He's got 2 receivers up top. And he throws and intended for Jones, Dwayne Jones, and he threw just a little bit behind him. Morgan was in the vicinity as well.
Jones was able to get his hands on it, but as he went for the ball, he slipped and the ball fell incomplete.
Clock stopped with 1:55 left in the first half. Ball at the 48-yard line of the Eagles. There you see head coach Pat Fox of the Berkley Bears.
Well, he's got to be happy. He's up so far here, and the jinx that we were talking about earlier, you know, he's got to think about that, but he's definitely winning this game.
2nd and 10. Griffin with the signals. 2 receivers up top again, same formation. He's got both Morgans up top, but he'll go the other way, and he overthrows his intended receiver. Even though he could not, I don't think he could have had that.
There's no question that ball was way overthrown.
But they'll call the penalty intended for Schaffner, number 22.
That ball was 5 yards over his head. Take a look here. Carlos Griffin goes back to throw. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball. His receiver was definitely not open. Take a look at how high the ball is over the receiver's head. Look at that. A good 5 or 6 feet, we'll say, over his head. Of course, he was interfered with, but I don't think that ball was catchable.
Pass interference on the Bears, and this will help the Eagles on this drive. 1:50 left in the first half. The Bears lead 14-13.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, they had to throw the ball to get the ball in the end zone here before the half. They're showing that they're not afraid to do it. They really haven't been successful at it, but that penalty helps them.
Dwayne Jones to the left of your screen, and up top is David Morgan. He goes to Morgan. Morgan complete, cuts it inside and tries to cut it up. And he's shy of the first down, but a very tough reception for David Morgan.
Well, that'll set up second down and real short, so that puts him in a position to do a lot of different things here on offense. Here's a setback here by Carlos Griffin. Sets up real nice in the pocket and hums one in there. Real nice pass, real nice catch. Unfortunately, the defensive backs are right on him after he makes the catch and doesn't get much after that. But does set up second and short, 2nd and 2.
And a timeout call down on the field. Here is the Eagle, the mascot. We didn't get a name, did we?
No, but we know it is a female.
We know it is.
Yes, we do know that.
We do know that. It is 2nd down and about 2. With the timeout down on the field, 1:27 left here in the first half. And we'd like to remind you to watch Oakland Forum right here on United Artists 63. Oakland Forum is one of the many programs that we here at United Artists Cable produce. And Dave Zorn is your host.
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah.
And as we tackle issues that affect our area, yes, the Ferndale Eagle like to tackle some Berkley Bears right now and get into the end zone.
Opposite way around. The Berkley Bears want to tackle the Eagles because they got the ball.
Oh, that's right. That's right. If we're going to get technical. The Eagle, I hear, is attacking our cameraman down on the sideline.
I told you it was a female Eagle.
We'll give you a further update.
Oh, yeah.
2nd down and 10, or excuse me, and 2. 2nd and 2. Thomas with a good fake. He'll get the first down. Oh, no, wait a second. He was flung back. Let's see where they mark it.
Looking at the spot, he looks like he's short of the first down.
Yeah, had he gone forward, I think he might have been all right, but he strung it out a little bit.
Keep in mind the clock is still running here, too.
Yeah.
Here's the stiff arm right here. That right there should have sprung. If he took the ball straight up, he would have got the first down. But he didn't. It was a great tackle.
And he's short of the first down as they run a play as we missed that. And
short pass.
They pick up the first down.
They completed for the first down.
So Griffin has his team on the move again.
Terrence Parker with wide receiver with the catch. Is 2 steps back, quick throw out here in the flat for the first down.
1st and 10, ball on the 27-yard line for the Eagles. 1 minute left on the clock here in the second quarter. Griffin on a counter play again. Morgan. And Morgan looks like he's close to a first down.
Second time they've run that play in this series. Both times it's worked because of the blocking. Blocking has been holding. Take a look here. You're seeing a pulling tackle, number 60, in front of the play. He fills that hole. And a great run right up the same gap, that left tackle gap.
Quick pass out to the sideline is incomplete just to stop the clock with 36 seconds left here in the first half.
Both offenses have shown here in the second half that they've been able to sustain some drive. Now that head right there does not have any stick marks. You know why I can tell?
Why is that?
It's furry. You can't get stick marks on fur.
That's right.
Yes.
And
like she's
really,
not-
it's kind of a warm night to be wearing something like that.
Yeah, it's like she wants to go flying. Maybe that's why they call them the Eagles. They want to go flying, you know.
The hat definitely has wings. Third down and about 1. I formation. The handoff to Sabraka. He picks up the first down, but also time is winding down too.
Well, clock stops
Clock
when
stops.
they're moving the sticks here, but they've got to get right up to the line of scrimmage because as soon as that stick is planted,
And they're
they'll
not
wind
getting
the
up
clock.
quickly off Sabraka.
No, they're not, but that's okay. The refs see that. They're not going to wind it until they're ready. There they
There we
go.
And 27 and winding down now on the clock. They're inside the 15-yard line. Griffin to the end zone, complete to Morgan, and he was hit and jarred loose. A good, strong hit by Williams. Tony Williams, who has scored 2 touchdowns.
Touchdown, Tony with the stick.
For the Bears, knocks it loose out of David Morgan's hands. Morgan had it. Let's take a look.
Nice fake right here. Carlos goes back with the pass. This ball was complete until touchdown. Tony knocks it loose. Take a look right here. He's got the ball in. Nice shot here. Drops the ball. Now keep in mind, 14 seconds left. They can get a first down before they get in the end zone. So that could come into play.
2 receivers split. Carlos to pass. He'll take it himself. And he goes out of bounds at the 10. Not enough for the first down. 9 seconds left on the clock. They may have 1 play left, maybe 2.
There's the fake. He's got nobody to throw it to. He knows he's got to run the ball in. He knows he's got to get out of bounds. Takes the ball up, fakes it inside purposely just to get him so he knows he goes out of bounds. Now, keep in mind, there's 9 seconds left here. They've got 2 players to get the ball in the end zone. They're not going to run the ball here. If they do, they have to risk time running out. It's a pumped up crowd here. They have a chance at a field goal too. They are in field goal range if they
Here
want
we
to go
go.
there.
Jason Morgan, David Morgan up top. The handoff, no. The fake. Carlos Griffin into the end zone, and it is incomplete. 5 seconds left on the clock, and flags are down.
It's typically an offensive foul right there. Typically a holding call. We'll take a look. It's against the Eagles. 2 bad things happened with that. Number 1, took time off the clock. Number 2, it pushes them back potentially out of field goal range.
There it is.
Call. Let's see if we can see anybody moving on the line. Didn't see anybody on that call, but he was open. Carlos just missed him through a too far wide right. There's the call right there. So the ball might have been tipped at the last second too.
Timeout called on the Eagles here. Eagles call timeout. 5 seconds left. 14-13 the score here. If you want to see another great game next week, the Troy Colts take on Troy Athens. And a great matchup, the battle for Troy.
Question for you.
Okay.
Since the game is next Saturday, we're doing it.
That's right.
The Saturday replay, will they have time to get the call on for Saturday night?
And it will be there. It will be on. And wow, what a great,
Let me
what a
just
great
say
day
this.
for the
What
Troy.
diligence on behalf of our staff to get that tape there in time to play it that night. It's almost like a live game.
That's right. I wonder who we would credit that to.
I don't know.
I think our hardworking staff and our director, Pat Collar.
I have to give him credit where credit's
And
due.
Cy Mulemeister.
That's it.
Just wanted to get Cy's name in there.
I tried last week.
Yeah, I know. we owed him one, I think.
There you go.
Plus, Cy doesn't have his popcorn in it. So.
I know. I couldn't believe it. We have to get a popcorn subsidy going for him.
Here come the Eagles. They are going to kick by the looks of it.
I like the way you say that since Carlos is
And
held
Michael
in the ball.
Thomas is behind the kicker just in case it's blocked to get that ball. It is up. It is no good. It is short. And that'll do it. That'll end the first half of play here at Hanson Field in Ferndale. The Ferndale Eagles come up with a drive to end the first half, but it just fell short. And a few feet short of getting 3 points.
That's true, and there was the second kick that they've had that really fell awry, and it was a bad snap. The kicker didn't get a hold of the ball, and it was a bad kick also. But they definitely had a chance to put some points on the board and didn't do it.
Homecoming night here at Ferndale High School. The score 14-13. We'll be back with some halftime highlights for you right after these messages.
This is Perspectives, made available by your local cable company.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, especially pictures of live testimony in high-profile criminal trials. Camera in the courtroom laws, along with satellite technology, have combined to open up a new phenomenon in television viewing. The William Kennedy Smith trial and others like it are being viewed by law school students, police, and millions of everyday Americans. This isn't Perry Mason or LA Law, but the real thing, with raw emotion, evidence, and a fair amount of drama. At a minimum, live courtroom coverage gives real meaning to cable's promise of alternative programming. At best, a generation of Americans will come to know much, much more about the legal system, their rights, and the consequences of wrongdoing. For Perspectives, I'm Leela Kokoris.
Opinions expressed on Perspectives are those of Telecommunications Incorporated and not necessarily those of this channel. Please send your comments to this address.
Halftime here at Ferndale High School. The score 14-13. The Berkley Bears lead the Eagles. And the music of West Side Story brought to you by the Ferndale Marching Band.
If you're in business, you know advertising can be a hit or miss proposition. Some is off target, and even the big idea can fall short. But advertising on cable TV is a surefire way to reach your most likely customer. Because whoever you're aiming for, there's a cable channel that targets your buyers in your area. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Halftime here at Hanson Field. The Ferndale Eagles trail by 1 against the Berkley Bears, 14-13. This halftime stats for you. Passing, none for Berkley, 31 for Ferndale, 54 total yards, rushing. And that is all rushing.
That's rushing
for Berkley, yeah. And the Ferndale Eagles, they're getting a pretty good mix, mostly rushing, but they passed toward the end there on that final drive and got a couple of good pass plays. Turnovers, 1 for Berkley.
Which cost them the touchdown.
And it cost them the first touchdown that Ferndale got on the board. And first down, 0 for Berkley, and that is the telling tale. 0 first downs, and they lead 14-13.
Well, the two big plays made the difference. Obviously, the fumble, then the kickoff. Look at the time of possession. There's the big telltale sign. 6 minutes for Berkley, 17, almost 18 minutes for Ferndale. 9 minutes of it was on the one drive, where they took the 15 plays for 9 minutes and 6 seconds for the touchdown. Ferndale has shown that they've been able to put a couple drives together. Berkley's only drive obviously culminated on a 30-yard run that they had earlier for their touchdown, I believe.
Yeah, 46-yard run.
46 yards
for Tony Williams.
Of the 50-some yards that they had.
But it shows you the kind of luck that Ferndale has had this year. They haven't won. They are ahead in every category, every positive category, but the scoreboard. They're trailing by 1 point.
Well, they did have one bit of luck here. We got at halftime the injured player, Tony Smith, found out that he's okay. No injuries other than being knocked out for a short period of time. And his mother's with him in the hospital, and he's doing fine. So
that's great news.
Best of luck to you, Tony. Hope you do well. And Tom, excuse me, and hopefully everything goes good for you.
Yeah, Tom Smith doing fine, just was knocked out for a little bit. Next week's game, the Troy Colts against Troy Athens and the Red Hawks. Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. And we are underway in the second half. A low line drive kick finally fielded there by Nazione. Nazione now down at about the 36-yard line.
Good field position to start off. A nice catch. Ball bounced off his chest. He picked it up without touching his knee. Keep in mind in high school football, once your knee's down, whether it be on you trying to stop a ball from going by you or not, you're down. So he did a good thing that he didn't put that knee down and ran the ball back upfield for about 8 more yards and giving the Berkley Bears excellent field position here to start the second half.
Tom Perry, the quarterback, number 17, 1st and 10, hands off to the first man through, and that is Batkowitz. Andy Batkowitz on the carry, nothing there, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Keep in mind, both of these teams were shut out last time they played. Ferndale was shut out by Troy, 48-0, and Berkley was shut out by Southfield, 20-0. So both of them put some points here on in the first half. Ferndale showing that they can drive the ball, and Berkley is showing that they can take advantage of their breaks. So we'll see what happens here in the second half.
I think this game will be won or lost in the fourth quarter. They have really had a tough time. Going deep, open. Perry wide open to his man, Chris Ramo down at the 31-yard line.
Oh my
Mark it at the 33.
He was wide open, folks. I'll tell you, you don't get much open this. Here, he goes back to throw the ball. Look at the time he gets. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. He's got a lot of time to throw the ball. Finds his wide open receiver, and watch him just fall. Got away, ref. His feet were moving faster, his body's moving faster than his feet. Feet couldn't catch up to him, and he fell forward.
He would have been gone.
Oh, without a doubt.
1st and 10 now for the Bears. One back, and they go with the 3 wide receivers, and on the carry was Nazione. Gain of about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up.
That's what they need to do, is establish that running game along with the passing game. Look at the tight line. Offensive line blocks through. The offensive pulling guard, 64, pulls through, takes the linebacker out, and got him that 5-yard gain. Very tight formation on the offensive line. They're going to run up in front, between the tackles here.
2nd and 5.
Very small splits between those linemen.
Yep. 2 tight ends. And they'll run it outside. Williams, their big back, and he breaks through. Tony Williams inside the 15-yard line to about the 12.
Excellent running by Williams that time, keeping his balance running through the line. Wanted to break it outside, as you mentioned, but had to cut it back up. Here's again, the offensive left guard is pulling, number 64. He pulls through the hole. Watch the footwork by Williams, cutting the ball back up. Takes the ball in, and a nice tackle here. Might have been a late hit there, but they didn't call it by 30 for Ferndale, but they didn't call it.
Pat Fox has his team fired up here to start the second half. On their first possession, I formation, handoff to the tailback, Williams. Williams still on his feet, and down to about the 5-yard line.
Again, they're pulling the guard. They're pulling the left guard down to the right tackle spot, getting the extra blocker in. They're opening up the hole for Williams. He's taking advantage of it and getting 5 yards of crackdown.
5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 now. Inside the 27, or excuse me, inside the 7-yard line. There you see the sideline and the cheerleaders. And it is homecoming here, so you see a lot of the former cheerleaders down on the sideline.
A lot of the alumni.
Power I right for the Berkley Bears, and they run it right. Williams hitting the backfield, springs loose, and finally brought down. He is brought down for a loss.
Well, he's carried the ball six times for 71 yards up to that point. So he's shown that, oh, we got another Ferndale man down. Oh, no.
And it looks like...
There's the run right there. You can see he's plugged up, some good defense. Let's see if we can see an injury here. There's an injury to one of the Ferndale people.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, who has carried the ball so much offensively for the Eagles, is down now on a defensive play. Looks like he just might have got the wind knocked out of him. He'll be all right. Yep.
Yeah, they were
the wind knocked out.
Loosening his shoulder pads and his belt buckle there. Trying to get some air back in there.
So he's got to come off.
Got to come off for one play. That's the rule. If your play stops because of you, let's see if we can see it.
Let's look real quick here before they run the next play.
That's him on the bottom.
Right there,
boy.
he gets knocked back. Ooh.
Yep. A little strain in the back, maybe.
Back to the action, and a bootleg. And is he in? No, but he was upended. Tom Perry went head over heels.
Looked like a chicken bone there. One leg up in the air, the other one down. It could have split him in half. That's really dangerous. That brings up 4th down in inches.
It's unusual. Tom Perry has a glove on, and it's very unusual for a quarterback to do that, but that is not on his passing arm.
A nice fake on his hip. He took the ball up. Now watch this at the last second. Look at his leg go way up in the air. That's dangerous, folks.
4th down and less than 1. Pat Fox looking on. Big play for the Berkley Bears. Handoff, and they get the 1st down, but that's all they'll get. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Berkley Bears.
You're pretty confident of that 1st down, aren't you?
Batkowitz.
From this angle, you're confident.
Yeah.
I like that.
Take a look.
I like that. It's the way to do it.
Well, I saw how far they had to go, and I saw that he crossed
saw his momentum, and yeah. So we're up, folks. We're way up on top here. And we're probably about the 50, 45-yard line. But looking down at this angle with the booth rate is very difficult for us to tell. But Dave's got this extraordinary perception here.
I still have some good eyesight up in my old age. And it looks like getting in for the touchdown. Batkowitz picks up the 1st down, and then on the next play gets the touchdown for the Berkley Bears. And the Bears get in on a 1-yard carry by Andy Batkowitz.
Well, that's the absolute worst thing that could have happened to this Ferndale team because they've really had some bad breaks. Watch this play. He slides in, running behind 64, the offensive left guard, put his head down, followed his blockers into the end zone for the touchdown. There's nothing fancy about that play. Straight power football.
The extra point attempt. Freed to kick it. flags fly, and a good thing.
Well, he kind of held up at the last second, saw the flags fly. Looks like it's going to be offsides against Ferndale. Now here's a choice here. Should they go for 2? If they do, it forces Ferndale to get 2 either twice, or kick an extra, or have to score a 3rd time.
But what if they miss?
Well, what if they get it? Yeah, it's a tough call.
That's why I'm not a coach.
Well, that's true. They have a little computer where the odds are fixed up. They're going to kick the extra point here anyways.
So the Berkley Bears to add to their lead right now with the kick up and almost blocked. Carlos Griffin got in there the first time, but then couldn't do it the second time. 21-13 the score.
Very low kick.
Yep. The Bears 21 and the Eagles 13.
So what if it was 22-13 though? I mean, that forces Ferndale to score twice.
This is true. But what if they miss? See, this is guaranteed now.
Well, if they missed, it's still 20-13, and now you got to go for 2 to win.
But they're up right now. They're in a position now. The ball is in Ferndale's hands. They have to prove, they have to get in the end zone, and they have to come up to at least tie or get something. The exciting sport of fishing. Yes, that'll be the topic on the next Roadshow video program, Saturday and Monday at 9 p.m. right here on United Artist 63.
And he is not sleeping. He is not sleeping in that.
No, that is just sheer excitement. He is just, I think, unconscious because they almost caught a fish. 7:04 left in the 3rd quarter. Back to receive, we see David Morgan and number 9, Terrence Packer, the closest to the screen. Ryan Freed to kick off. Short kick taken inside the 20 and cutting outside and finally flung down is Max Leonard. Leonard brought down at about the 29-yard line, and that's where the Ferndale Eagles will start at their own 29.
That's what they call an old horse collar tackle that time. Leonard with the ball, trying to cut outside, cuts outside of his blockers. Here's the big problem. One of the men running his lanes shooting down. That's number 5. And that's Ditton. Chris Ditton, a junior, makes a nice horse collar tackle, throws him to the ground. See, son, you got to look at your blockers. The running lanes down there, they're going to cut through there, and they're going to get you.
High formation in the backfield. Fake to the first man through, cutting up is Griffin. Flag down, though, and a holding looks like on the Ferndale Eagles.
They're tackling these defensive linemen cutting across, and they're just kind of holding them on the ground. That's the reason they're making those calls, is that after they make the initial block, they're just kind of laying on top of them, and that's illegal. Cannot do that. Carlos is getting a little frustrated here, seeing his team losing again. They're 0-7 this year, and they have not played that bad here today, Dave. I mean, they've actually looked pretty good in spurts, and Berkley has taken advantage of the few breaks that they've gotten.
Well, they dominated time of possession. Let's take a look here.
I can't really see the hold on that particular call. It happened in the backfield.
Knocks them back for a 10-yard loss, and it'll be 1st and 20 now for the Eagles. High formation, 2 receivers, and they're both down to the bottom of the screen. Again, another flag, just as they get the playoff. And if this goes against Ferndale, they are really...
Offsides against Berkley.
Now it's going against Berkley, so that'll be 1st and 10 again.
Somebody must have lined up in that neutral zone.
No, 1st and 15, excuse me. 9 plays for the Berkley Bears, and they got it in 4 minutes and 56 seconds. A total of 64 yards.
That almost matches their entire possession time for the first half. That tells you something about how they took advantage of the breaks that they got in the first half. Obviously, they scored on the kickoff, but also on the long run.
So now it's another 1st down play. The handoff to Sabraka. Sabraka couldn't even get to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and about 12.
Ferndale showed some success there in the end of the first half, throwing the ball to the sideline. And what they've got to do here is they've got to mix it up, because Berkley's starting to key on Sabraka now coming out of the backfield, and he's not getting the yardage that he got once.
Carlos Griffin getting the signals, and now faces a 2nd and 12. I formation, 2 receivers up top for Griffin. Fakes the first man through, takes it himself, and then gets flung down, and the Bears defense is really toughening up on Carlos Griffin. They are looking for him to keep the ball, I think, on every option.
Well, the linebackers now, Joe Nazzoni particularly that time, are starting to key on Griffin as he's taking the ball up the line of scrimmage. Looks like he might be limping right there. I don't know. Here's the fake. He takes the ball, and he doesn't even fake to the pitch man. He takes the ball. It's him all alone. Look at 44 come up right here. Nice tackle there by number 8, it looks like. Great tackle, number 8 or number 80, Jeremy McLean, defensive end. He's a big one. He's 6'3", 230, so he did a good job there.
3rd down and 9, and taking it himself is Griffin. He may have the first down. Looks like he does.
We'll see the placement. I think he fell behind the line. We'll see where they place the ball.
Oh, they're giving it to him. They are moving the sticks already.
Oh, just right on by the nose.
4:14 and now counting down here in the 3rd quarter.
Let's watch his knee. Let's see where his knee ends up, because I think he lunges here at the last second for the first down. Take a look, see if his knee's down. Right there. Yep, he did get it. It was just over the line. Right on the line, actually.
1st and 10, right on the 40-yard line, as we take a look at John Vasher, and he looks on as his team has got to get moving offensively. Playing catch-up now against the Bears. Sabraka spins and turns and gains about 6 yards on it. They're going to mark it at 5. 5 yards on the carry, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
Let's go back to the last first down. Keep in mind they were pushed back with the holding penalty. 1st and 20. Penalty against Berkley for 5 yards, 1st and 15. So they had some adversity to overcome to get that last first down. Now they've got a drive moving here with 2nd and 5. Very big play coming up right here also.
2nd down 5, I formation. Jason Morgan along with David Morgan up top. Thomas on the carry. Thomas close to a first down, but flags are down, and it's going against Ferndale.
Another procedure penalty. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're starting to get a little sloppy here because that was a really good play. It was close to the first down. That's going to drive him back and negate that first 5-yard run, put him back down to 2nd and 10, and they don't need to go backwards, I'll tell you what.
Well, let's take a look, Bob.
We're not going to see the backfield here. We're queuing on the quarterback, but the run was excellent. We got very close to the first down, but it's not going to count. Berkley's starting to try to strip the ball as they're going through the line here, and keep that in mind too as the game goes on, because they're in position to where with the lead, if they can get a couple turnovers, they can pretty much put this one away.
2nd and 9 now. David Morgan is tight, and Jones is split, and they go to Thomas in the backfield. Nothing there. In fact, they lose a yard. It'll be 3rd and 10 coming up.
Not very good blocking on that call. They weren't pulling anybody. They were man-to-man blocking, and Ray Penley, senior defensive back, came up and made the stop. He's 6 foot, 170 pounds. It's about what I played at my sophomore, junior year. Grew a few.
You were 170?
Yeah, back then, yeah.
You were about that in college, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, about that, 175.
Did you play in college? You played?
No, I just did the football games on radio.
That's right, just like I did. Back to pass. Griffin, he gets pressured and tries to put a move on Penley. And Penley got him down, though. And Griffin limping on the sideline, but he'll be all right.
He's been limping the last couple plays. That penalty was a key penalty because, remember, they had 2nd down and 5. Here's the play again by Griffin. He goes back to pass, does not see anybody open, tries to push somebody away, takes his speed outside, puts a couple moves on, but gets hit pretty hard, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that helmet, I think, hit him right above the knee.
Yes, it is.
And that's why he was hopping.
That forces Ferndale to punt. Big defensive series there by the Berkley Bears.
Yep, 4th and 8 in a punting situation now as Schaffner, number 22, goes into punt.
Oh,
Schaffner, a big snap over his head, and look out. He tries getting it off, and it's a miracle that he does. And right there, the ball at about the 33, 34-yard line, but that could have been disaster for the Eagles.
What a great play by the kicker. I can't believe he got this off. Schaffner goes back. Now watch him pick the ball up, and here's the key to the play. He just doesn't kick wildly. He looks first to see where that guy is, then gets the ball off. That could have been a penalty right there.
Yeah, that could have been. He had...
and what a break that would have been for Ferndale if they would have called the penalty.
He'd kicked that a good second or two before that player got in there. 1st and 10 ball on the 44-yard line of the Bears. Hand off to Williams, the tailback. Williams, an exciting runner, just a couple yards there, but even there, he just finds a hole. And
it kind of reminds you a little bit of Roger Craig, the way he used to run up the middle with his legs up high and little stutter step moves up the middle.
Smooth.
Real smooth. Let's take a look here. They have real tight splits here on the offensive line. What they're trying to do is the seams that they're trying to create are small seams, and what he has to do is squeeze in between them. So what he's trying to kind of go sideways in between those seams, then push the ball up. So it was a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
2nd and 7 now for the Berkley Bears. They're on the move again. Handoff to the first man through, and a big gainer. Look out. And finally brought down to the 20-yard line, and a big gain for Berkley.
And I see a penalty flag down. He might have brought him down by the face mask.
Andy Batkowitz put the Berkley Bears on the board here in the 3rd quarter, and it was.
And they're going to tack on a few more yards. Oh, what a shame. Poor Ferndale, I'll tell you, they have had no breaks go on for them all the way through. All the way through the season, we can get into that.
Not a great homecoming night for the Ferndale Eagles.
Well, they're going to move it down to the other end of the field here, Dave. That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
That'll end it. That'll end the 3rd quarter of play here at Ferndale High School, and we'll go to the 4th quarter. And the Berkley Bears dominating that 3rd quarter.
Keep in mind here, look at him turn sideways. Remember I mentioned before the splits are going real tight? He turned sideways, got through that little hole, popped it through the opening. And again, remember, he was hurt earlier in the year, so that's why his speed isn't up to par, but he's still got enough speed to break it into the open for the big gainer. Just turned sideways right at the last second, got through that line, popped through, and got the big run.
Well, that's a game of inches. And just a couple inches to get through when he got through. And Batkowitz gets the Bears in great field position now, especially after that penalty tacked on. So 1st down now for the Berkley Bears, just outside the 10-yard line at about the 11.
See those alumni cheerleaders, they don't lose it. They remember all the moves.
In fact, they were down there telling the other cheerleaders, well, let's do this one. Let's do that one cheer.
You were listening to that?
Yeah, I could hear him.
Yeah?
Got a microphone down there. Just like I could see it, the play all the way down on the other side, I can hear him too. 1st and 10. They can get a 1st down just before the goal line. Williams going around the outside, and he gets knocked back. And he's going to get a loss. I can't believe that he kept his feet. And he's done that on a number of occasions,
well,
too.
Twice that he's done it, twice that he's knocked back and head for a bigger loss, too. So maybe that's telling him he should just go down when he gets popped like that. I don't know. But he's showing some real athletic ability here as he gets popped back. And I'll tell you what, if he's got the speed to make that turn, if 55 wasn't there, he might have been able to turn it back around this corner and go all the way. Because the pursuit took all the rest of the team that way. 55 came up, filled the gap. 55 for Ferndale is Drew Beaver. He's the defensive tackle. Did a good job there, holding his ground.
And a timeout down on the field right now. They want to talk things over on a 2nd and 10 as we just start the 4th quarter here at Ferndale. And with this break in the action, we remind you to watch Front Page Football. Join news writer Mike O'Hara and Free Press writer Kurt Sylvester on Front Page Football as they talk to a member of the Detroit Lions every week. Right here, Saturdays at 6:30.
What an amazing change in the weather. Look at those girls down there with just their sweaters on, a few of them. Last week they would have had 3 jackets, a scarf, and a couple pair of gloves on.
Yeah. And not to mention a hat.
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
And let's see, gloves.
I said that, 2 pair.
Okay, 2 pair.
2 pair.
And snow boots.
Snow boots.
And a shovel. Here we go. 2nd down and 10, and a big series of plays right here for the Bears. They pass, and it is incomplete, intended to Freed. And Bob, we've seen a number of teams do this earlier this year. They'll go away from what got them there, and it always hurts. Well, right now, they've got a 3rd and 10 facing them now.
Yep, that's very true.
But if it works, it's a great play to surprise them.
And that's what they're trying to do here. It's tough to score inside around by the 10-yard line. Defensive backs come up, and if they can put a fake on it, they can turn that ball in for a touchdown. Field goal range here, we're looking at 30 yards maximum. They're on the 12-yard line, 22, that's 30 yards. They're right in field goal range, but they obviously would like to get a touchdown. He's got a lot of room.
Rolling out and throwing into the end zone. He's open. Touchdown.
If he didn't throw that ball, he had plenty of room to run the ball. What a good play.
Perry complete to Jeremy McLean in the end zone for the touchdown. 11 yards and the touchdown, and the Berkley Bears are putting an exclamation point right now early in the 4th quarter.
All right, here's the fake. The fake freezes the linebackers. You can't see it, but if he looks in front of him, he's got nobody in front of him other than his own blockers. Throws the ball back across the grain, threw it short, but had enough on it to get it in there for the touchdown.
And now the extra point attempt by Freed. It is down, it is up, it is good. The extra point is good.
Well, that puts Ferndale in a real bad position here. They're going to have to throw the ball to get back in the game. There's still plenty of time left. There's 11 minutes and 11 seconds left. So they can still run their game plan. They're 2 touchdowns away, 2 touchdowns and a couple extra point tries. So they're still not out of this. I mean, they can still get into this game right here. Let's not count them out.
But the Bears have had so much momentum. They have really carried the play here in the second half. They took it on that first drive. Pat Fox very happy right now. He is in command. His team is. They took that first drive in, and ever since then,
that really took the momentum out, right.
The defense has played well for Berkley, and they have stopped the Eagles. Even when they had some sort of a drive going, they would stop them somehow, either with a penalty or some big play.
Well, that's 2 drives here in the second half and 2 touchdowns. So if that continues on that route, obviously the Ferndale Eagles are in deep trouble.
And those drives are eating some time off the clock, too. 11-11 left in the game. 28-13, the Berkley Bears lead over the Eagles. And Freed will kick off here. This is a short kick, and it goes out of bounds and a penalty. And now it's up to the Eagles to decide whether they want to take it with good field position or have him kick it over.
Well, I would take the field position considering where it went out of bounds. I mean, obviously.
And the wind is at the back of Freed, so if he wanted to really boom one, he would have the wind at his back. So the Eagles do take it at about the 35-yard line, their own 35-yard line. That's where they'll start. 1st and 10 now for the Ferndale Eagles, and Carlos Griffin comes out. He'll try to get this team going on another big drive.
Looks like he's running a little bit better. You can see some of our fans here. We've had some confetti going on. It looks like it was snowing. There's our drive.
The number of plays, 5, 2:04, taken off the clock. Again, the Bears not taking much time off the clock, and 57 yards total on the drive. Carlos Griffin back to pass quickly, and he hits his man complete. Complete to Schaffner. Jim Schaffner picks up the first down, and Bob, a little bit of element of surprise there.
That was an excellent play call. They didn't have much problem with that one. 2 steps back and a little pass over the middle. 2 things can happen on that. Number 1, it could be knocked down, or it could be complete. That time they were able to get the ball to the receiver for a first down. That's only the second pass here in the second half.
1st and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line. Griffin with an I formation gives it, fakes it to his first man through, and throws downfield to Morgan.
Just out of his reach. It was a good play. Not very many, not a big chance for an interception on that because he's throwing the ball away from the receiver. Take a look right here. Nice fake in the line by Griffin. He's rolling to his right, which gets him a better chance to throw the ball. And it was a good throw, just a little bit out of his reach.
And it was a good fake, had me fooled. So I guess my eyesight isn't as good as I thought.
It's there.
Let's go, Ferndale! Come on, keep it
2nd and 10 now. I formation. Griffin calls the signals. He's got one receiver split down here, Morgan, and he'll go to the air. Griffin looking downfield, he'll run it. No, he unloads at the last second for Schaffner.
Just got that ball off behind the line of scrimmage. We're talking inches, folks. I mean, he waited to the last possible second to get that ball off and just overthrew his receiver.
He did. He was getting awfully close to the line of scrimmage. I thought he was going to run with it.
Take a look right here. Here's the fake. Faked their cameras out again. You can't see the angle from where he's at, but just before he goes over the line of scrimmage, he lets the pass off and just overthrew him.
They faked me out at last time.
Well, we see a penalty flag down here. Maybe he did go over the line of scrimmage. They're coming back a few yards. I'm looking at where the referee threw the marker down, and the marker is across the line of scrimmage, so that is the call. I say he got dangerously close to it. I thought he might have just gotten it up before he hit the line of scrimmage, but the referees were right on it and made the call.
3rd down and, let's see, 15 now, or 14. That's 15 yards. 3rd and 15. Griffin calls the signals. Fakes to his first man through, and he's getting pressured, and he's getting sacked.
He's getting demolished.
The first sack for the Bears, and it's a big one. That pretty much deflates anything that the Ferndale Eagles wanted to do in this drive.
We've got a Berkley Bear player down injured. Here's
like
replay.
Number 54 for the Bears.
Take a look right here, and here's the big problem. When they know you've got a pass, they come at you from all angles. Look at the sack right here. He sets him up, coming in from the corner, and gets demolished. Carlos goes down hard.
Jeremy Resnich, number 54, is down for the Bears, as you see Pat Fox there. And I'm wondering if he's out of breath, too. He might have gotten the wind knocked out of him, too.
54, is that an 8 there?
That's a 54. I saw him earlier when he was up.
Okay.
They just had him lie down a little bit. They're checking his leg now. It looks like could be an ankle.
We've had a rash of injuries here on this field. We were down on the field prior to the game, and the field was in good shape. There was no problems with the way the field, the shape of the field. So it's just one of those happenstance things, and hopefully this player isn't hurt too hard or too bad. We've seen some serious injuries here on this field, Dave.
Yeah, a lot of hard hitting though. That's why. Players wanting to make a play, a key play, and
there's the snow we were talking about earlier. We've seen a rash of this small, real tiny confetti, and they are just demolishing each other.
I think that's a brother and sister quarrel. She wants to make up, but I guess not. Or maybe it's a girlfriend, boyfriend. Well, I think she's winning, Bob. I think she's winning.
Yep, they usually do. And if they don't, they go tell mom. Then she wins anyways.
I think he's going to win because he's going to put more confetti down her back. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, with this wind blowing the way it is, it makes it real interesting because it kicks up. And looks like there's a snowstorm going on.
Yeah, you're right. Look at that. In fact, that's how it would have been last week. If any kind of precipitation came down, it would have been snow last week.
54 now is being taken off the field with some help.
Yeah, it looks like he's favoring one leg. He's hurt his left leg. Resnich is going off. They can see.
That is not snow, folks. It was 70 degrees today.
Yeah. And Resnich is being carried off. There he is. I hope he's all right. Again, this injury to Tom Smith earlier. Tom was knocked out, and they weren't sure if that was a serious injury or not. Here is the punt. He gets a good punt away, and the Eagles have been pressured on their punts.
I don't know how he's getting the ball off and kicking the ball so well. That snap was terrible. He picked it up on 2 hops, went to his left, which is the toughest way to kick that ball, still got off a decent punt. Great job. Here it is, look here. On 1 hop, he bobbles the ball. It bobbles it again, gets his sets up, and a left-footed kicker makes the kick. That's why he's going to kick it that way. He's left-footed.
So a 1st and 10, ball on the 40-yard line of the Bears. And they will start there. They're going to try to look to run this clock out as much as they can. 9:28 and counting down here in the 4th quarter. Handoff to the first man through, and a good run by Batkowitz, number 30. Batkowitz, a key play in the scoring drive for the Berkley Bears, and then he scored in the 3rd quarter himself.
He wasn't supposed to play that much here in this game at running back. He was supposed to play primarily on defense, but he's shown that maybe he's got that extra wind in there, and he's ran the ball very well here in the 2nd half.
2nd down and 5 now.
I'd say a very good compliment in there to that running back scheme, him and Williams.
Yep. Tom Perry calling the signals. Williams and Batkowitz. Batkowitz again this time, and again he carries for about 5-7 yards on the carry and picks up the 1st down.
He's 6 foot 195 at fullback. He's a load to bring down. He's bigger than most of the defensive linemen for Ferndale. When he gets a head of steam going, as you can see here, he's hard to bring down. Gets those legs moving. It takes 2 people to bring him down. Big 1st down, though, keeps that clock moving. 8 minutes and 30 seconds and counting.
And they are into Eagle territory. 1st and 10, ball on the 47-yard line. A handoff to Williams. Williams cuts outside, breaks a couple of tackles, and he's going to break it outside. Tony Williams, he's got some speed and finally brought down from behind inside the 10-yard line, inside to the 5.
What a big run by Williams. He has shown some exciting energy and spurts out here today. That definitely puts him over 100 yards for the day. Take a look here. He's going outside all the way.
He's not running full speed. He slows down, and then when he sees some room, he'll take off. That's amazing.
Well, you take a look right here. He's running under control. He's touching his linemen to let them know what direction he wants them to go in. You've got a couple people up there that should have been blocking, but they know that Williams has got the speed to get around them. So they don't even block. He said, well, he's by us already. We're not going to catch him.
1st and 10, or rather 1st and goal. And the carry by number 44, Nazione, inside the 5 and close to the goal line.
Well, a touchdown here pretty much puts the Ferndale Eagles out of this ball game. And it's a shame, too, because they've actually had this game under control in the 1st half. I mean, they played an excellent 1st half. They controlled the ball for almost the entire 1st half. 18 minutes of the 1st half, I believe, or 16 minutes of the 1st half. And had the one long drive of 9 minutes. So they did a good job. They just lost control of the game.
2nd down and about 2 yards. Taking it himself on the quarterback sneak is Perry, and I don't think he got it. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 1 now.
I mentioned earlier that last run put Williams over the 100-yard mark. It gives him 10 carries for 116 yards. That's almost 12 yards a carry. That's an excellent day.
Here we go, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Good numbers for touchdown Tony Williams. And they probably might want to spread the wealth here, so I don't think they're going to give it to Tony. But you never know. That's why his name is Touchdown Tony. That's who they give it to, Tony Williams.
That's who gets the touchdown.
Touchdown Tony gets another one for the Berkley Bears, his 3rd of the night.
We might have started something here, Dave.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to call TD Touchdown Tony Dorsett?
That's right.
He was the first one they used to do that. And appropriately named Touchdown Tony Williams here on the run. Showed his speed, jumping over a few defenders and cutting in for the touchdown. Take a look at this one again. Touchdown Tony, we'll call him. Looks at his hole, skates by, changes directions, and glides into the end zone. I like that.
What number was Tony Dorsett?
32, was it? 33? 33, that's right.
That's right.
That was 33.
So that's why, obviously, the name Touchdown Tony Williams. I like it. I hope Tony does too. The extra point is up, and it is good. So good kicking tonight by Freed. on the extra points.
Been very accurate, hasn't showed a real strong leg, but he's done the job. And that's all you can ask from a kicker.
They got them all through.
35-13 our score here in the fourth quarter. 6 minutes and 29 seconds left for Ferndale. They potentially put some more points on the board, but they're in big trouble.
And you know, Berkley really hasn't used too much time off the clock on their drives. That was maybe almost 3 minutes on that one. But you see Jeff Jameson sporting a new haircut for us. And the reason he did that, I think, is because this week is a little bit warmer than last week.
There we are again.
Here we are.
With our coats off, it tells you how warm it is up here, and we're enjoying the weather while we can.
And this is where we are. And we are in our shirts, as you can see. Last week, we were bundled up, even in the press box, with our winter coats. And the Ferndale sideline here on homecoming night. Not a happy one, but
well, they seem to be enjoying themselves. I see quite a few people, and most of the crowd here is still here, and they're standing up, a lot of them, having fun, and I don't think the game is getting them down at all.
The kick is a low one, a line drive, and taking it again on the return up to almost the 40-yard line is again number 32 Leonard, Max Leonard, on the return. So Max has had it a couple times
That was a real decisive return that time. Caught the ball on the line, took it straight up, got as many yards as he could. Didn't really look at his blockers, ran through his blockers, but got the ball up and got them very good field position at the 39-yard line.
1st and 10 now for the Eagles on their own 39-yard line. 6:06 left in the game and counting down. Time running out on the Ferndale Eagles. The Berkley Bears have dominated here in the second half. I formation, handoff to the second man through. That's Thomas. Michael Thomas trying to lunge forward for a first down, and I don't think he'll get it, but he'll be close.
He's just going to be short of the first down, but the good second effort that time got him the excellent gain of about 8 yards. Take a look again right here. He goes over right tackle. This is all him. Look, they're trying to strip the ball. They can do that. They're ahead. Trying to cause the big turnover, and Thomas bounces around for an 8-yard gain. There's our drive, Dave.
Back a little bit.
6 plays, like you said, very short, 3 minutes and 23 seconds, but they went the 60 yards. They went the total for the touchdown.
And the lead, 35-13 the score. Handoff, and nothing there. Sabraka on the carry, and looks like he got close to a first down, but I don't think forward progress was enough.
No, he didn't get it, and that does two things. It takes a lot of time off the clock.
There we see the band, and they're saying, hey, where did all the alumni go? We need some help down here. The alumni were down there earlier.
Well, none of the alumni band people were down there. They were probably out at some college doing a college game.
They were down there.
Alumni band people?
Yeah, they were down there playing with the alumni cheerleaders. Handoff, fake to the first man through, and they give it out to Thomas, who picks up the first down and finally gets shoved out of bounds.
He got popped pretty good, so we got another player down there. Nope, he got up. That's good news. An excellent gain that time.
John Bazier looks on. Let's take a look.
That's the play that worked for him earlier. They scored the touchdown with Sabraka taking the ball on the pitch out earlier in the game. This time you could take a look. He pitched the ball and still has some room. Good defensive people coming down on the play, running down in their lanes and tackling them out of bounds, stopping the clock.
And the option worked great for him that time. Picks up the first down. Ball at the 35-yard line. Griffin takes it himself, pitches out, and it's a loose ball. Finally falling out is Thomas.
Thomas did a smart thing there, just dove on the ball, make sure he got possession of it back. That was a real smart play. There's Carlos again, faking the ball up the middle, taking the ball up himself, pitching the ball out. That ball was just, I don't know, that wasn't a bad pitch out.
No, it wasn't. I don't think that Thomas was looking for the pitch.
I think Carlos faked him out too. Was not a bad pitch out. It was right in front of him where you want it to be. He wasn't looking at the ball. Turned his head just for that 1 second, and the result was the big loss. Second down, 18.
Ball at the 44-yard line. 3:45 left in the game. The fake, the pitch, and this is a counter.
Yeah, he's got
what a great play this will be. If he can just break it outside, Morgan does, and he may have picked up the first down.
If he had a little more speed, he could have turned that one up for a touchdown because he had nothing but running room in front of him. Take a look right here. Here's an excellent call. They've been going one way all the time. The counter pitch right here, and he should have just took his speed, took his eyes. He's starting to look right here, and he should have just went right to the end or out of bounds stick because they need to get out if he doesn't get the touchdown. But he might have gotten close enough. No, he didn't get the first down. It's 3rd down and 1. Good
Third
call,
and
though.
about 1. 3rd and 1. Here we go. 3:10 and counting down here in the 4th quarter. Power I right. And they go right to the tailback. Thomas picks up the first down and brought down immediately after that.
Well, clock is running under 3 minutes here. The 3 minutes will stop the clock. So they're running out of time. They need a couple of scorers, but they're putting together a decent drive right here. Morgan has carried the ball 3 times now for 41 yards on that reverse, on that little counter play. So that's been a very good play for him.
David Morgan, number 8, not only receiving, but has done a nice job on the reverse on the ground. So the penalty goes against the Bears. Big penalty for them. Didn't even see that flag down. But it brings the ball all the way down to the 12-yard line. So Ferndale can pick up the first down inside the 2. 1st and 10 from the 12. Griffin calls the signals. 2:45 left in the game. Fakes to the first man through, pitches out, and holding on this time is Sabraka inside the 5, but he was down, fumbled the ball, but he was down inside the 5.
Yep, the ground cannot cause the fumble. He was down, trying to turn the ball outside. He actually had a nice gain on it. He gained about 6 yards. Take a look right here. He gets the ball out to him quick enough where he can turn the corner, and that's the key.
Almost lost it.
Yeah, he did. Almost dropped it, but he showed his good hands there. See the helmet on the ball, but he held on to it, and the ground caused the fumble. So it does not count. Time still running, 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Ball just inside the 5-yard line, and they can still pick up a first down. 2nd and 4. To the air and going for the touchdown, they get it. Complete to Schaffner. Jim Schaffner on the reception from Carlos Griffin. I think they caught the Bears sleeping that time.
Well, just a quick slant in pass. They expected the run. They threw the pass. Obviously, they got the touchdown. Makes it 35-19. If they go for 2, 35-21, they've got to go for 2 here. And then go for the onside kick. Score quickly. You never know. I've seen stranger things happen, Dave.
Yeah. 5-yard touchdown pass from Griffin to Schaffner, and the extra point conversion for 2 here. Griffin to the air again, wide open is Morgan, but he overthrew him. Just led him a little too far. That play worked beautifully. Had Griffin just thrown it just a little bit down.
Griffin that time threw the ball before he had to. He took a couple steps back, did not look at the receiver, threw to a spot, and the receiver wasn't there yet. Trying to get Morgan again. There's our score, 35-19. 1 minute, 59 seconds left, and we'll look for an onside kick here.
Onside kick, 7 points will definitely not do anything for.
Well, they're down 16 points. They're 2 8-point plays away, which is possible from tying the game and sending us into another overtime. The odds of it are slim, but it's possible.
Well, we saw those 2 consecutive onside kicks last week, although they weren't meant to be, up at Rochester Adams.
So you think about the score, you look at the stands here, they don't care what the score is, they're having a blast.
Yeah, they're having snowball fights up here. Here's the kick, and it is an onside. It is a loose ball, and see the pile up.
I believe Berkley's got the ball.
Let's see who's got it. It's Berkley ball. So now the Bears can just run the clock out. And Ferndale can still call a timeout, though.
They can, but down 2 touchdowns, the odds are unlikely.
Let's take a look at the drive. 8 plays, 4 minutes and 27 seconds, and that really hurt the Eagles. And 61 total yards. The time of possession hurt the Eagles on that one, as they were
So we've got a timeout by Ferndale here, and I don't understand that. Why would they call a timeout before the play started? Makes no sense to me.
And 10 seconds ticked off, so it's 1:44. Transition is a program designed to give perspective pertaining to African American issues, hosted by Jeffrey Miller, and has conducted interviews with Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers, and Coleman Young. Watch Transition Saturday night at 10 on Channel 63. 1st and 10 for the Berkley Bears.
They haven't gone to Florida yet. They're out here watching the progeny play. Which ones we don't know, but they're out there somewhere, I'm sure.
See, they're on the band side of the bleachers where the band used to sit.
Okay.
So they wanted some peace and quiet over there. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Handoff to the first man through, but flags are flying. Batkowitz on the carry. And let's see what this call is. Stops the clock with 1:42.
It's going against the Berkley Bears. They're coming back. Looks like it's a hold or procedure call.
Yeah, illegal procedure knocks him back 5. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Bears. Well, the Bears pretty much dominated here in the second half.
They did. They've had some drives. Not a lot of time off the clock, but they've broken a few. Maybe those short gaps that they're running on the offensive line have made a difference for them. They were able to open up a few holes for the running backs. And, of course, touchdown Tony's have done a great job here in the second half.
And the handoff again to Batkowitz. He breaks through. And, boy, if I'll tell you, if number 25 didn't hang on to him there for the Eagles, and that was Williamson, Bill Williamson, Batkowitz may have had the first down on the first carry.
Well, that's why Berkeley's 4-3 this year. They've shown resiliency in taking advantage of what breaks that they're given. This will make them 5-3 in the year and 4-3 in the conference.
And a long night for that man, as well as John Bazier, Ferndale fan, here on homecoming night. 2nd and 5. And the handoff goes to number 44, and a big gain for Nazione. Joe Nazione, and a great gain for him as he has seen some play tonight.
He's done a good job on defense also. But look at the quick getter here. Here's the fullback. He's taking the ball straight up through the guard center gap and made a nice run. Got tripped up there at the end, but got the first down. Clock is still running here, 24 seconds and counting.
And this will be the last play of the game here as the Eagle looks on homecoming night. Carey handing off to Nazione again, and he gets another big gain. So good average for him tonight as well. So all 3 backs doing well for the Berkley Bears tonight. And that'll do it. That'll be our last play of the game. The Berkley Bears break the jinx. And Pat Fox has got to be real happy right now.
He was really nervous before the start of the game. He's had some people injured, but they've come through and have played a good game. Batkowitz showed some resiliency coming back from injury.
And there you see the 2 coaches, Pat Fox and John Bazier, shaking hands. There's your winning coach, Pat Fox. His team goes to 5-3 and 4-3 in the conference in the SMA. So a big night for Pat Fox as he breaks the jinx and wins big, 35-19 here at Hanson Field at Ferndale High School. We'll be back to wrap things up for you on homecoming night for the Ferndale Eagles right after these messages.
If you're in business, you know you can pour a lot of money into advertising, trying to reach your potential customers. But if you think the results aren't adding up fast enough, add cable TV advertising to your plan. Cable's variety of programs let you target your best prospects right in your area. And cable is affordable, so you can afford to run more ads. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Back at Ferndale High School, where the Berkley Bears have defeated the Ferndale Eagles 35-19 here on homecoming night for the Ferndale Eagles. And not a good homecoming night for the Eagles. They dominated the first half, though, statistically, although the Berkley Bears had a 1-point lead at halftime. Let's take a look at the halftime stats here for you, or the final stats for you. And at halftime, the reason why I said that, because everything just flip-flopped. Ferndale dominated in the first half, and then Berkley dominated in the second half, and everything seemed to balance out if we look at the finals here. Ferndale got more than 19 yards rushing. Don't let that fool you. 197 yards rushing for Berkley. That is true. But the total yards rushing for Ferndale, they were in the 190s as well. Turnovers, only one turnover in the game, and that cost Berkley. And the first downs, 14 for Ferndale, 6 for Berkley. And Berkley just happened to get their big plays and get them in the end zone.
Very true. Ferndale really dominated the time and possession, as you can see. 9 minutes of it coming on one drive in the second quarter. And that's why they dominated those statistics in the first half.
Leaders for Berkley, Batkowitz had 8 carries for 65 yards, but it was touchdown Tony Williams with 11 carries for 117 yards and 3 touchdowns on the night. He was the leader for the Berkley Bears. On the other side, for the Ferndale Eagles, it was Thomas who got 12 carries for 66 yards, and that was Michael Thomas, number 30, who played both offensively and defensively, and he was their rushing leader on the Ferndale side. Also, you got to mention Carlos Griffin, who had 12 carries for 50 yards. Next week, don't forget to tune in to our final high school football game of the week of the season, Troy Colts against the Troy Athens Redhawks, and what a matchup it is every year, and it's always a great battle no matter what the records are.
I'm looking forward to that game. It's our last game of the year, so tune in, folks.
Okay, and as Joyce Robertson watches her favorite show, we say goodnight to you and join us next week from Troy Athens High School. The final score here, the Berkley Bears 35, the Ferndale Eagles 19.